I pulled into my parents' driveway at exactly 5:55 a.m., my hands trembling with excitement as I cut the engine. The neighborhood sleeps around us, but I've been wide awake since 3, too thrilled to rest. For 2.5 years, I've pictured this moment the culmination of 67 overtime weekends, countless missed social events, and $18,400 saved dollar by painful dollar. My European vacation with Mom and Dad. The trip of a lifetime that I've gifted them, that we would experience together. The porch light flickers on as I grab my carefully packed suitcase from the trunk. When the front door swings open, my smile freezes. Dad steps out first, followed by Mom. Behind them, clutching a designer suitcase I've never seen before, is my younger sister Cassidy. "Morning, honey," Mom says, her voice unnaturally bright. "Beautiful day for traveling, isn't it?" I stare at Cassidy's suitcase, then at the nervous smile playing on her lips. Something cold and heavy settles in my stomach. "What's going on?" I ask, though deep down, I already know. The answer is written in Mom's too wide smile, in Dad's inability to meet my eyes. Mom steps forward, placing her hand on my arm. "Sable, sweetheart, we've been talking and—" She glances back at Cassidy, who suddenly finds great interest in examining her manicure. "We decided Cassidy should take your spot. She's stressed and needs a break. You're always busy, you can take another trip later." The words hit me like a physical blow. I look at Dad, waiting for him to say something, to defend me. He shuffles his feet, eyes fixed on the driveway. "My spot?" My voice sounds strange to my own ears. "The trip I paid for? The trip I've been planning for over 2 years? Mom's expression hardens slightly. "Now, Sable, don't be selfish. Your sister's been having a rough time since she left that job at the boutique. She needs this more than you do." My fingers tighten around my car keys until the metal edges bite painfully into my palm. I think of the 67 weekends I worked while Cassidy posted pool party photos. The overtime shifts I volunteered for while she found herself through 4 different career starts in 3 years. "Let's get going, shall we?" Dad finally speaks, checking his watch. "We don't want to miss our flight." Our flight. A memory surfaces from 3 months ago, me at their dining table, proudly showing them brochures of the exclusive Paris tours I'd booked. Dad had leafed through them with a frown. "Isn't this a bit extravagant?" Mom had said, pushing aside the glossy pages. "We're simple people, Sable. You didn't have to go overboard." I'd stayed up until 2 a.m. that night, double-checking every reservation, making sure everything was perfect, with flexible cancellation policies just in case something went wrong. Something like this. I don't remember helping them load their luggage into my car. I don't remember the first 20 minutes of the drive to the airport. I sit behind the wheel in a fog of disbelief as Mom and Cassidy chatter in the back seat. "I can't wait to see the Eiffel Tower at sunset," Cassidy squeals. "And the shopping, Mom. All those boutiques." "I know. And those little cafes Sable mentioned. What were they called again, honey?" Mom asks, as if I hadn't just been gutted in my parents' driveway. I don't answer. My hands have stopped trembling on the steering wheel. Instead, a curious calm washes over me as I mentally catalog every booking, every account, every password. "She's just processing," I hear Mom whisper to Cassidy. "She'll understand. Sable's always been the responsible one." The responsible one. That's what they've always called me when they needed something. When they expected me to sacrifice, to understand, to give way to Cassidy's wants. I check the rearview mirror. Dad is staring out the window, already mentally in Paris. Mom is showing Cassidy pictures on her phone. None of them notice the shift in my expression. The moment when something fundamental changes. They see me as a resource, not a person with feelings and needs. The vacation I've dreamed of for years, the memories I wanted to create with my parents, the experiences I carefully curated, all of it transferred to Cassidy with a casual cruelty that steals my breath. As I approach my apartment later, after they went to the airport, a decision crystallizes in my mind. My fingers reach for my phone, tapping it awake. The travel app is still open from when I checked our itinerary this morning. I was always good at planning for contingencies. The notification chimes as I unlock my apartment door. I kick off my shoes, tossing my unused passport onto the coffee table where it lands with a hollow thud. My phone vibrates again. The family group chat. I sink onto my couch, expecting some performative gratitude from my parents. Instead, my heart seizes As I read Cassidy's message, clearly meant for Mom alone but sent to all of us. Thanks for convincing, Dad. Sable will get over it, she always does. Paris shopping spree, here we come. 3 laughing emojis follow, each one a precise knife twist. My legs give out completely. The phone slips from my fingers as tears blur my vision. Not a hasty decision made this morning, but a calculated plan. Weeks, possibly months in the making. While I worked double shifts, they plotted. I retrieve my phone with trembling hands and scroll through previous messages. There it is, hidden in plain sight. Cassidy asking Mom 2 months ago, any chance of a free vacation this year? Feeling SO burned out. Mom's vague reply, let me see what I can do. What she could do was sacrifice me. The laptop weighs heavy in my hands as I pull up my travel account. The homepage welcomes me with cruel cheerfulness. Your European adventure begins tomorrow, Sable. Every reservation screen displays the same phrase, Sable Marshall plus 2 guests. Each booking represents hours of research, comparing reviews, seeking the perfect experiences. The private send dinner cruise because Dad mentioned wanting to see Paris from the water. The small group Louvre tour because Mom gets anxious in crowds. The specialized pastry class I'd found after calling 6 different Parisian bakeries to find one with English instruction. I open my email, searching for Paris and reservation. Dozens of exchanges populate my screen correspondence with tour operators, special requests, questions about accessibility for Dad's occasional knee pain. Each email a testament to my methodical planning, my desperate desire to create perfect memories with my parents. Then I see it. A draft email from 3 weeks ago, composed by my mother from her account but never sent. We need to change one traveler's name on the booking. How do we do this without telling the primary account holder? My throat constricts. 3 weeks. They'd been planning this for at least 3 weeks. I stare at the ceiling, cataloging what I've lost. Not just $18,400 money I could eventually replace, but the dream of creating cherished memories with my parents. The fantasy I'd nurtured through 67 weekends of overtime, picturing us laughing over coffee at a Parisian cafe, Dad's face as he tasted authentic French cuisine, Mom's excitement at seeing Notre Dame. My phone pings with congratulatory texts from coworkers. Have the best time? Can't wait to see pics. They'd thrown me a bon voyage party last Friday, presented me with a travel journal, asked me to document everything. What will I tell them now? That my family decided I wasn't important enough to include in my own vacation? I picture returning to work, facing their excited questions. The humiliation burns in my chest, rivaling the betrayal. The family dynamics crystallize with painful clarity. I've always been cast as the responsible one, the daughter who sacrifices without complaint, always expected to understand, to give way, to accommodate Cassidy's needs as if mine didn't exist. I've accepted this role my entire adult life, planned my schedule around family events that were subsequently canceled, lent money that was never repaid, listened to problems without having mine heard in return. And now, the ultimate sacrifice, giving up the trip I'd worked toward for years. I return to my travel account, cursor hovering over the reservations page. A small notification catches my eye. All bookings eligible for full refund if canceled within 72 hours of scheduled arrival. My finger pauses over the mouse. The cancellation policy I'd insisted on, just in case plans changed. The contingency I'd factored in because I'm always the planner, always thinking ahead. I could cancel everything now. Every reservation, every booking, every carefully selected experience. One click, and their stolen vacation dissolves. As I stare at the screen with my finger hovering over the cancel reservation button, I wonder if I should let them enjoy the trip I'd planned, or reclaim what was rightfully mine. Was teaching them a lesson worth the family fallout that would surely follow? What would you do when the people you love take your generosity for granted? The cursor blinks, waiting for my decision. Paris lies an ocean away, and with it, the family who couldn't see my worth. After they have arrived, around 11 hours later, my phone chimes with an incoming message. Cassidy's face fills the screen, her smile wide beneath designer sunglasses. The Eiffel Tower rises behind her like an exclamation point to her triumph. Thanks for making this happen, sis. Paris is everything I dreamed. I set the phone down and take a long, slow breath. The 6th message since they landed. Each one a carefully composed reminder of what I'm missing. The landline rings. My mother's voice floods the room before I can even say hello. Sable? Thank goodness. The hotel needs your credit card confirmation. Something about the booking being in your name. Her tone is casual, as if she's asking me to pick up milk on my way over. I'll call them, I say, my voice unnaturally steady. Wonderful. And one more thing, your father wanted to let you know we ran into Cassidy's friend Rebecca. She's in Paris for that fashion internship. We've invited her to join us for a few of the tours. That's fine, right? She's in Paris anyway. My fingers curl around the phone. Rebecca. The friend who encouraged Cassidy to quit her third job this year because retail is beneath her talents. She can't join the Send dinner cruise, I say. It's prepaid for 3 people only. Oh, we already added her. Just a small surcharge. You don't mind, do you? I hang up without answering. The congratulatory texts from friends arrive in steady waves. My phone screen glows with questions about my amazing European adventure. Each one feels like a small betrayal, though I know they mean well. Can't wait to see your Paris photos. Living the dream, girl. Send pics of those French pastries. I haven't told anyone what happened. The words stick in my throat each time I try. Sleep becomes impossible. I lie awake at 3 a.m, my ceiling a blank canvas for imagined scenes. Cassidy and my parents strolling through the Louvre, laughing over espresso at sidewalk cafes, snapping photos beside the Arc de Triomphe. All the moments I had pictured myself in for 2.5 years. The anger and guilt wage war inside me. Am I overreacting? Would a better daughter just be happy they're enjoying themselves? I reach for my laptop in the darkness. The spreadsheet takes shape under my fingertips. Column by column, I document every penny spent. The overtime hours. The weekends sacrificed. The total stares back at me. $18,400 and 67 weekends of my life. When my alarm rings, I've had 37 minutes of sleep. The office feels like an extension of my apartment, airless and confining. I move through the morning meetings on autopilot, nodding at appropriate intervals, my mind still cataloging the tours and experiences I'd planned. Earth to Sable. I blink. Megan from marketing stands in my office doorway, 2 coffee cups in her hands. You look like you could use this. She places 1 cup on my desk and sits without waiting for an invitation. I knew something was wrong when you didn't post any airport selfies. What happened? The question breaks something loose inside me. The story pours out in jagged fragments, the driveway scene, the silent drive, the calls and texts since then. Megan doesn't interrupt. When I finish, she doesn't offer platitudes or forced optimism. She simply says, "They don't deserve you." What are you going to do about it? The question follows me home. What am I going to do about it? My laptop screen casts blue light across my darkened apartment as I log into the travel account. The itinerary I'd crafted appears, each reservation still active, each experience still waiting. My finger hovers over the first cancellation button. The phone rings. My mother's name flashes on the screen. Sable? There's some mistake. The hotel says we don't have a reservation. They're completely booked. There's a conference in town. What's happening? The panic in her voice should trigger my usual response rush to fix the problem. Smooth things over. Make it better for everyone else. Instead, I feel strangely calm. This was my trip for me and my parents, I say, my voice level. You changed the plan, now you handle it. What are you talking about? Did you? Understanding dawns in her silence. Sable, Marshall, you fix this right now. We're standing in the lobby with nowhere to go. I spent over 2 years planning this for the 3 of us. We can discuss this when we get home. Right now you need to call the hotel and... No. The word feels foreign on my tongue. If Cassidy needed a vacation so badly, you should have planned it yourselves. I end the call as it rings again immediately. My father this time. Do you know how embarrassing this is? His voice booms through the speaker. Standing here with our luggage while the clerk tells us we have no room? Fix it now. I just hang up. As I hang up, something unexpected happens. Instead of the crushing guilt I've anticipated, a wave of relief washes over me. My shoulders relax. I breathe deeper than I have in days. The doorbell rings 40 minutes later. Megan stands there with 2 other co-workers, arms full of takeout bags and wine bottles. Intervention time, she announces, pushing past me into the apartment. We figured you could use some backup. While they unpack containers of pad thai and pour generous glasses of wine, My phone lights up with increasingly frantic texts. They've found a hotel, but it's far from the city center. The tours are saying they have no record of our bookings. Call us immediately. For the first time in my adult life, I block their numbers just for the evening, just to breathe. Lisa, from accounting, raises her glass. To standing your ground. To knowing your worth, adds Tyler from design. Later, after they've gone, I curl up on my couch with my laptop. Italy has always called to me the art, the history, the language I studied for 2 semesters in college. Buongiorno, Italia, I whisper as I search for flights to Rome. The money from the cancellations sits in my account, a tangible symbol of reclamation. My finger hovers over the Book Now button for a 10-day luxury Italian vacation 2 days longer than the Paris trip, with a private cooking class and vineyard tour included. As I click, my phone lights up with a message from an unknown European number. This is your father using the hotel phone. You've made your point. Now stop this childish behavior and restore our reservations. I turn off my phone and close my eyes, picturing the sun-drenched vineyards of Tuscany that await me instead. A day later, I transferred the last of the refunded money into my new account, watching the numbers settle into place. $18,472.36, the exact cost of my European dream, now rerouted to an account my family can't access. My parents have joint access to my main account, just in case. They'd insisted years ago. Another boundary I'd never questioned. The calculator app sits open on my phone screen. I've done the math 3 times. €500 should cover their emergency accommodations, basic but adequate. Not the luxury I'd planned, but enough to keep them from sleeping on benches. I authorize the wire transfer, then power down my laptop. My phone pings with a new email confirmation. Villa Toscana welcomes you, Sable Marshall. The words glow on my screen, my name alone. The exclusive cooking class in Florence. The private evening tour of the Vatican museums. The sunset boat ride in Venice, all mine now. I take a deep breath and open a blank email. Subject line, vacation update. I type methodically, each word carefully measured. I have canceled all reservations I made for our family trip. I've sent enough money for basic accommodations. This was to be a trip for myself and my parents, not a free vacation for Cassidy. I deserve more respect than this. Enjoy Paris as best you can. I press send before I can reconsider. The clock reads 2:18 a.m. By morning, my phone is flooded. 17 missed calls from Mom. 8 from Dad. 3 voicemails from Cassidy, each from different French numbers. I block them all. Sable, this is ridiculous. Your father and I are stranded at the hotel. Call us immediately. Mom's voice crackles with panic in the first voicemail I allow myself to hear. 2 hours later, Cassidy tries a new approach from yet another number. Hey sis. Please call back. We're staying in this awful place with no air conditioning and Dad's back is killing him from the mattress. Mom's been crying. Each message strengthens my resolve like mortar between bricks. They thought I would fold, I always did before. The responsible one. The reliable daughter. The built-in solution to family problems. Not anymore. I scroll through my social media feed while sipping my morning coffee. Cassidy's Instagram has gone silent after her initial "Bonjour, Paris" post with its perfectly filtered Eiffel Tower backdrop. Then I see it a post from her friend Rebecca. When your dream Paris trip turns into a nightmare. 2-star hell. Roommates with rats. The photo shows my sister and parents crammed into a tiny room with peeling wallpaper. My father's face is tight with discomfort, mother's with indignation. A twinge of guilt pricks at me, but I push it away. Their expressions are familiar, the same ones they wore when I announced I was moving out at 23 instead of staying home to save money. The same disapproval when I chose event planning over accounting like Dad wanted. As another angry voicemail fills my phone, I wonder if I should have sent them enough money for decent accommodations. Was standing my ground worth knowing they were struggling in a foreign country, or was this the lesson they needed to learn? The doorbell interrupts my thoughts. Megan stands there holding a travel guidebook and a bottle of wine. I brought reinforcements, she says, stepping inside. My cousin visited Italy last year and swears by this guide, and I marked all the places you absolutely can't miss. She spreads the book open on my coffee table, pointing to dog-eared pages covered with sticky notes. This gelato place in Florence will change your life, and this little restaurant in Rome? The owner sings while he cooks. Later that evening, Jackie from work calls. I switched shifts with Rob. You can leave 4 days earlier if you want. We've got you covered. You don't have to do that, I say, throat suddenly tight. Are you kidding? After everything you've done for us? Remember when you covered my entire Christmas week last year when my mom was sick? I hadn't expected this circle of support. I never knew I had. People who saw me, who valued my time and efforts without demanding more than I could give, who respected my boundaries without making me feel selfish for having them. My phone buzzes again, a voicemail from Dad. His tone is different, quieter, with none of the righteous anger from before. Sable, honey, this isn't how we wanted things to go. Call us when you can. A text from Mom's friend Linda pops up. Just talk to your mother. She admitted perhaps they handled things poorly. Hope you're doing all right, dear. 3 days later, the family group chat lights up with a simple message from Mom. Coming home early. Flight arrives tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. What was supposed to be an 8-day trip cut short after just 5 difficult days. Part of me feels vindicated, while another part aches at the thought of their ruined vacation. But as I pack my new Italian leather travel journal into my suitcase, I realize something has shifted inside me. For the first time in my adult life, I'm choosing myself not out of spite, but out of respect for my own worth. The price of standing firm has been high, but as I zip my suitcase closed, I know it's one I needed to pay. The day after arrival, the doorbell rings at 7 in the morning. I'm halfway through packing my carry-on for Italy, carefully rolling my sundresses to prevent wrinkles, when the chime slices through my concentration. No one visits this early without warning. Through the peephole, I see them. Mom, Dad, and Cassidy, huddled on my welcome mat with forced smiles. Mom clutches a familiar turquoise bakery box tiramisu from Bellini's, my favorite since childhood. My stomach tightens. I consider not answering, but they've already spotted movement through my sheer curtains. I open the door without inviting them in. Surprise. Mom's voice wavers with manufactured cheerfulness. We brought breakfast. Dad stands unnaturally still, hands in his pockets, eyes fixed somewhere over my shoulder. Cassidy shifts her weight from foot to foot, inspecting her manicure, the same nervous habit from the morning they hijacked my European vacation. I step aside wordlessly. They file in, Mom heading straight for my kitchen as if it's her own. We'll need plates, she calls, opening cabinets without permission. This tiramisu is fresh from this morning's batch. Dad settles heavily onto my sofa, his usual commanding presence diminished. Have you been, kiddo? Fine. I remain standing, arms crossed. What's this about? Mom returns with 3 dessert plates, no fourth for herself, her perpetual diet, and sets them on the coffee table. Can't parents visit their daughter? At 7 a.m.? Without calling first? I keep my voice steady. The day before I leave for Italy? Cassidy's eyes widen. You're really going through with that? Of course I am. My flight leaves tomorrow afternoon. Mom sits beside Dad, arranging her face into what I recognize as her persuasion expression, head tilted, eyes softened, lips curved in a maternal smile that once made me confess to every childhood misdeed. That's actually why we're here, sweetheart. She pats the seat beside her. We've been doing a lot of thinking. I remain standing. Dad clears his throat. We handled things poorly with the Paris trip. We've learned our lesson. Have you? The words come out sharper than I intended. We want to make it right. Mom continues, undeterred. Cancel your solo trip. We'll do the family vacation properly this time, all 4 of us. Your father and I will pay for everything. After the disaster in Paris? I can't help the disbelieving laugh that escapes me. That was unfortunate, Dad mutters. But family should stick together. Cassidy nods eagerly. We could go during Christmas break. I've always wanted to see Italy at Christmas. Mom reaches for my hand, which I pull away. After all we've done for you growing up, you owe us another chance. Family forgives, Sable. The word "owe" ignites something in me, a flash fire of clarity burning through decades of obligation. I walk to my bedroom without responding, and return with my carry-on and the leather-bound travel journal I've been filling with Italian phrases and restaurant recommendations. This is my itinerary, I say, opening the journal on the coffee table next to the untouched tiramisu. 10 days. Rome, Florence, Venice. Cooking classes, wine tastings, private tours of galleries normally closed to the public. I flip through pages of meticulous notes, restaurant reservations, Museum tickets all for one person. I'm not canceling anything. But we're offering to pay, Dad begins. I don't need your money. I close the journal firmly. I don't owe you a trip. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you my time. The silence that follows feels like a physical presence in the room. Mom's hands twist in her lap. Dad's jaw clenches. Cassidy stares at the floor. I continue packing while they sit in stunned silence. I fold my favorite sundress turquoise with small white flowers and place it deliberately in my suitcase. This is ridiculous, Mom finally says. You're punishing us over one mistake. One mistake? I look up from my packing. You took something I spent years planning and saving for, something deeply important to me, and gave it to Cassidy without a second thought. Then you had the audacity to act surprised when I was upset. Families don't keep score like this. Mom's voice rises. You can't hold every little thing against us forever. I walk to my entry table and pull open the small drawer where I keep spare keys. The silver key to my parents' house gleams under the hall light. I've had it since college for emergencies, they'd said. For when they needed me. This isn't about scorekeeping. I place the key on the coffee table between us. It's about respect. You showed me I don't have yours. Dad rises suddenly, drawing himself up to full height. As long as you're our daughter. I'll always be your daughter. I interrupt, surprised by the steadiness in my voice, but I'm also a person with feelings and boundaries. You don't get to decide when those matter. I glance at the family photo on my wall taken at Cassidy's college graduation, me standing slightly apart, as always, the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who understood. I'm not asking for much, I continue, softer now. Just acknowledgement that what you did hurt me, that I matter too. Mom stares at the key on the table as if it's a live grenade. Dad's shoulders slump, his authority deflating before my eyes. We should go, he says finally. They move toward the door in silent procession. As Cassidy passes me, she pauses, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't think it would hurt you this much. It's the closest thing to an apology I've heard from any of them. I don't respond, but something small and tight in my chest loosens slightly. After they leave, I sit among my half-packed belongings, wondering if the rumors have already started among family friends about the terrible European disaster. Aunt Linda has texted twice about Thanksgiving next month, fishing for confirmation of my attendance. I haven't answered. My phone buzzes with a calendar reminder. Final Italian lesson, 2 p.m. The screen shows my current lock screen, our family Christmas photo from last year, all wearing matching sweaters at Mom's insistence. I swipe to my photo gallery and find the image I've been saving, the Colosseum at sunset, golden light spilling across ancient stone. With a few taps, it becomes my new lock screen. When my phone lights up again, it's not my family's faces I'll see, but a future I've chosen for myself. 4 days later, the morning sun warms my face as I wander through a cobblestone street in Rome, savoring the bitter perfection of my espresso. Unlike the countless times I've eaten alone at work functions hunched over my phone, scrolling through emails, today I sit tall, watching locals hurry past the cafe while an elderly man plays accordion nearby. A Swedish couple at the next table asks me to take their photo. 2 weeks ago, I would have snapped the picture and scurried away. Instead, I suggest a better angle with the fountain in the background. They invited me to join them for lunch. You're traveling alone? The woman asks, genuine curiosity in her eyes. Yes, I answer, the word no longer carrying a sting of abandonment but ringing with freedom. Just me in Italy. I take photos of cypress trees and ancient doorways not to prove to anyone I'm having fun or to make my family jealous, but because they make me happy. My social media remains unupdated. These memories belong to me alone. Later, as afternoon light filters through my Venetian hotel window, my phone buzzes. Mother's name appears on screen, followed by, "Hope you're having a good time. We miss you." 6 months ago, I would have responded within seconds, eager to smooth over any discomfort, to reassure her that all was forgiven. I set the phone down and watch gondolas glide beneath my window. Now, when the message no longer has power over me, I respond, "Italy is beautiful. I'll call when I'm ready to talk." I turn off notifications and head out to a nearby piazza, where an elderly man teaches chess to neighborhood children. When he invites me to play, I surprise myself by accepting, laughing at my clumsy Italian as he corrects my pronunciation between moves. That evening, my laptop screen fills with Megan's smile as she and 2 coworkers crowd into the frame for our scheduled video call. "Look at you," Megan exclaims. "European sophistication suits you." I pan my camera around the luxury suite with its antique furnishings and balcony overlooking the Grand Canal that I upgraded to using a portion of what would have been my parents' Paris expenses. "To Sable," Mark says, raising his coffee mug in Michigan where it's still morning, "for seeing the world on your own terms. And to friends who understand what that means," I add, my voice steady with certainty I've never felt before. On my final morning in Florence, I sit at a cafe table with my leather journal open before me. The waiter knows me now, greeting me with "Buongiorno, Signora Sable," and my cappuccino arrives without my ordering. I write a new list in careful letters. 1. Learn Italian fluently. 2. Launch my own event planning business. 3. Visit 6 more countries. 4. Renegotiate family relationships on equal terms. The last item I stare at longest before underlining it twice. A silver-haired couple nearby struggles with their selfie stick, frustration evident in their gestures. I close my journal and approach them. "May I help?" I offer, taking their phone. The woman smiles gratefully. 50 years married today," she explains, her husband's arm tightening around her waist. I capture several shots, making sure the old buildings are perfectly framed behind them. When I return their phone, the genuine delight on their faces warms something deep within me. As I help that couple capture their memory, I wonder if time will heal my family's wounds, or if our relationship would need to be rebuilt into something entirely new. Some bridges, once broken, can never be the same again, but perhaps they can be built stronger. What would you do? Try to recreate what was lost, or build something different with clearer boundaries. I return to my table, adding a final line to my list. Remember that helping others doesn't require erasing myself.